The hottest drivers, the coolest new irons, the best putters, all today on the SCOREGolf Equipment Special from Orlando, Florida. It's next.
This is SCOREGolf, the voice of Canadian golf. SCOREGolf is powered by Volkswagen, from one good drive to another. Michelob Ultra, now available in Canada. Now, here's your host, Bob Weeks.
Hello everybody and welcome to SCOREGolf's Equipment Special here on TSN. And we are coming to you from the mecca of the golf industry. This is the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida. 1,000 exhibitors, 40,000 industry insiders come down here, over 1 million square feet of exhibit space. All the big companies are here showcasing their new wares, and also some dreamers hoping to strike it rich in the golf business. Lots of buzz about the new equipment. We're going to show it to you all today on our equipment special. You'll get to see all the latest drivers, irons, putters, wedges, everything you need. Meet some very interesting people who are pushing the industry in certain directions. We're going to start things off with a company that's getting a lot of buzz this year around their equipment. Let's have a visit with Callaway. Earlier this year, we visited Las Vegas to show you Callaway's Real Results program that featured some of Callaway's newest irons and drivers. It included Manuel de los Santos, Callaway's tour icon, who hits the ball incredibly well considering he lost one of his legs in a motorcycle accident. And also Canada's Adam Hadwin, who carries a bag with a Callaway logo on it. Now we're going to introduce you to the engineer behind all of Callaway's incredible gear, Dr. Alan Hocknell, as he talks about the company's newest clubs for 2012.
We've got a really strong product line. It's headlined by our Razor Fit driver. It's our first look into adjustability, and we've been waiting before developing a golf club like that because we wanted to make sure that we had the right golf club. A driver that was not only adjustable but also had terrific performance. So that headlines the product line. We also have a really strong set of irons. We've got 3 different new irons that are available this year. A return to very premium irons in the Super Game Improvement area with the Razor XF iron. We've got a Game Improvement iron, Razor X Black, which is a slightly different take on a Game Improvement iron. I think that it has some very strong cosmetics and will be very appealing to a lot of golfers. And then the Razor X HL is a Super Game Improvement iron with a Big Bertha kind of heritage. So it's got a wide sole and it's got a lot of forgiving features that makes the ball fast and easy to get up in the air.
This year's new driver has something new for Callaway: adjustability. The driver is met with great reviews. I mean, probably as good as reviews as you've seen probably in a long time. Not that anything wrong with your last iron or was, but I mean, this one has really taken off, hasn't it?
I think it has. We're very happy with the way that people have received it. Right from when we first put it on tour, it was on tour just a week or two, and then Alvaro Quiros went and won with it, and our other tour players have converted to it very quickly. We did very well in the Golf Digest hot list. We got Editor's Choice for the driver, and that's usually a good sign that we got the product right.
But for weekend hackers looking for an iron that's truly built for forgiveness, look no further than the XF iron, which is sleek looking and sounds amazing with good contact.
I mean, it was designed definitely with the average player in mind, so it is very forgiving. It has high ball speeds, it has a lower center of gravity because average golfers and developing golfers tend to hit the ball slightly lower on the face than good golfers. So we wanted the performance from the low part of the face to be really good, so we moved a lot of weight down. We did that by introducing very lightweight, high performance face into that forged head. So it has some characteristics that are clearly designed for average golfers or developing golfers, but we've been surprised by the number of good golfers who've really kind of rounded on that iron, and when they've had a chance to play with it, they've said, "Wow, this is something I didn't expect at all. This is a characteristic of Callaway. Callaway's back with an iron that's surprising in some way." All the way through to tour pros have been taking a look at it and saying, "Wow," as well. So we might even see someone. We never expected that, but we may even see someone play on tour.
And as we've heard from tour players all year long here on SCOREGolf, playing with the wrong clubs and irons is a mistake many amateurs make.
I think in general, golfers need more forgiveness than they'll admit. So we try to sometimes hide that forgiveness in the design of the head. We tuck it away in forms that make it seem, less game improvement, if you like. The Razor technology in our irons is a good example of that. So we're trying to, with Razor technology, put the power and the forgiveness of a wide sole iron into a shape that is more consistent with the control and workability of a narrow-soled iron. And I think we've done that very successfully.
Before we leave Callaway, we should note that Adam Hadwin, one of the company's Canadian-sponsored golfers, is playing very well on the nationwide tour. At the Saboba Classic, he went into Sunday with a chance to win, but instead finished a respectable 5th, and he has been in and out of the top 25 on the money list all season long. Those who finish inside the top 25 automatically earn their PGA Tour cards for 2013. When we come back, we'll check out TaylorMade's wonderful fantasy world of golf, staged for the industry in Orlando at the PGA Merchandise Show. TaylorMade Golf has been around since 1979, although it wasn't until 1997 when Adidas bought it and turned the brand into one of the most successful golf manufacturers in the game. One of its famous claims is that more PGA Tour players use TaylorMade drivers than Callaway, Ping, Cleveland, Cobra, and Nike combined. But you may recognize the brand for its fun and easygoing tour players like Mike Weir and Sergio Garcia. In Orlando, TaylorMade and Adidas took fun to a new level as they took up an entire wing in the Orlando Convention Center to create, well, I guess you could call it a fantasy golf dream. With full driving range, photoshopped images with your favorite golfer, putting greens, and even a pool table. That's all part of TaylorMade's quest to make golf reach a demographic of people who never considered swinging sticks before. Something that TaylorMade CEO Mark King knows has to happen for golf to reach the furthest corners of the globe.
We got to get the game to be more fun and more inviting to more people, and so we really need something to happen that allows new people to come into the game that don't have to play by this tough game that we all love. And then eventually they can get into it. But we do our best by making clubs that are easier to hit and hit the ball further, and that's what we do. And I just actually met with the United States Golf Association, and Mike Davis actually said it best, which is not so much a bifurcation of the rules, but a spin-off of the game that we call golf today, so that you could move the ball in the fairway, you could take a 3-foot putt, you could move up to tees, and it's not so much about recording a score, it's just about having fun. And even though we would still call that the game of golf, it wouldn't be governed by the current rules, but we could leave the rules where they are. But there's certainly two ways to go about golf, a fun way and a competitive way.
All right, let's talk about TaylorMade for 2012. You guys have some more exciting stuff. It seems year after year that you guys just keep coming out, pushing the envelope and bringing new things out, and racquetball seems to be a very hot story these days.
Bob, it's been fantastic. I mean, we really believe it's the best performance enhancement that we've seen in golf in many, many years. I mean, literally golfers are finding somewhere between 15 and 30 yards on their 3-woods or 5-woods or rescues. And there's a change in the way the face is constructed, where the center of gravity is, and there's so much hype on tour around it. We picked a name that was very controversial, so we got a lot of buzz about it, but we're really excited about this opportunity.
Well, King certainly believes he's got the best gear on the market, but we want to know what TaylorMade's tour players think and how often they change the gear in their bags.
It's funny because I'm kind of a field player. I don't like to use a lot of the launch monitors and stuff like that. I kind of like to play with the equipment to see if it's going to work. But I'm a little bit of a tinkerer at times. But when I get something I like, I don't switch it. I kind of hold on to it for a long time. So that part of the companies like TaylorMade and all these other club companies on tour, they want to always have new products coming out. So it's nice that we get all the products, but it definitely takes a little while to integrate them into your bag. And when I find something I like, I'm going to work with it for a while.
Big thing for me is just playing with it on the golf course, and a lot of that's going home and playing the golf course I play all the time and just comparing where I'm hitting it and how I'm shaping the ball and stuff, and so that's kind of big for me. I need to be able to play it at home. And with all the new technology that's coming out and how you can move the weights around and the face angles and all that stuff, I don't know enough about it. I know a little bit about it, and then I really trust the guys at TaylorMade to really dial me in on what I need.
You don't see me much in the trailer. I've had irons that are 4 years old now. My wedges are a couple of years old, and I have a driver that's a year old now. So TaylorMade is always trying to push me the new product, and I try and hold off as long as I can because they come out with great stuff every single year, and it's hard to not put that new club in the bag. But I go off if it's not broke, don't fix it. and I feel really comfortable in the clubs that I have. And I'm not saying that, you know, the clubs they come out with right now aren't great. You know, I've tested a few drivers, and we just haven't found the right mix yet. We're going to find the right mix. It just takes a little bit of time for me, because I know as soon as I put that driver in, it's not going to come out for a while until they come out with another driver. So, you know, you kind of have to keep up with technology, but in a way you don't want to chop and change too much, because once you fall into that category of changing clubs every single week, you start blaming the clubs rather than yourself.
Everybody likes to have them one way or another, obviously, because that's what you feel comfortable with. But no. I mean, if you talk to the TaylorMade guys, you'll see that I just you know, I like to do a couple things my way, but I guess I like to test it a little bit. But if I talk to the TaylorMade guys, to our guys, and they show me their good numbers, they give me good numbers, and then that it feels good. To me, that's the most important thing. I'm not fussy about putting them in play for one day to another, but obviously in between the tournament it's tougher.
When we return, we'll introduce you to a Canadian who just may be the world's finest wedge designer. Well, Titleist is known as having the #1 golf ball in the game. Of course, Pro V1, Pro V1X played by a whole bunch of these players, some of the top names in golf, but they also have some of the top names in golf designing golf equipment. We had a chance to speak with two of their superstars here in Orlando. Bob Vokey is best known for his wedges. It seems like nearly every tour player out there has one in their bag. But what most Canadians may not know is that Vokey was born and raised in Montreal and played a few years of pro football in Quebec before moving to Carlsbad, where he has since become one of golf's master craftsmen. How does a guy from Montreal make it all the way here to have his name on all these wedges? Must be a great journey, must be one you're pretty proud of.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I come from the same guy that came where I came from, the old tenements of Montreal, and to come on down there, I mean, it's been phenomenal. Hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of years. You know, I like to say that, you know, my age, I look like I'm in my 60s, but in reality, I'm only 35. But I mean, that's what this has done to me. Made me look like this. Kidding aside. No, it's been a phenomenal journey. I've been fortunate to get with companies, and I said before, I work with the best players of the world, and I get down and dirty with them and ask questions and listen, and it goes from there. And I'm very fortunate that with Titleist, I'm very fortunate they've given me the opportunity, they give me the proper tools to achieve my dream. I never would have been able to achieve this dream if it wasn't for Titleist.
Bob Vokey's wedges are truly a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. That's why you see them played all over the PGA Tour and on courses right across Canada. Should someone maybe go out and figure out what their wedge configuration should be?
No doubt about it. You'll always see, I'll give them three big things I like to see them. I like to say with an average weekend golfer, low handicapper, high handicapper, he can go out and know his gaps, know how far you hit certain shots. Go to hit your ball that you normally play with, go to your course, hit shots out to an area where you can see them land and you can walk them off. You hit like a 8-iron, 9-iron pitching wedge and your sand wedge, and you'll see where your cluster of balls is, and you'll see 9 times out of 10 it's going to come between pitching wedge and a sand wedge.
Now, they're obviously very important clubs for the pros, but for the average guy out there, the wedges might be the most important clubs in the bag, correct?
No doubt about it. You know why? Because the average weekend golfer, he's not going to profess the club head speed it takes to hit those 2 irons, 3 irons, 300-yard drives, but he does profess the club head speed to be able to hit those shots from 100 yards in as well as a pro can with practice, and knowing his options that he has available, his bounce, his grinds, knowing the course he plays to, know the turf, know the sand, figure out his grind. Is he a digger type, takes it straight up, or is he a slider, likes the picker of the ball? Know all those little things. If he knows those things, along with his option, he can outfit himself. Of course, go and see your local PGA Pro is very important. You can help him. And then also the other thing I like to realize is a gap wedge for him. That's important. Or how about a lob wedge? Does he really need a 60 degrees, or can he go down to a 58 degree? Knowing all those things can help him with his game very much.
Scotty Cameron's putting studio is unlike anything you've ever seen. Not only is it a museum of his greatest creations, but it's where his designs come to life, and where he admits his imagination sometimes leaves consumers guessing.
You know, I like to hear from the consumers, and I love to see the feedback sometimes I think they're not going to get certain things and wonder why. For example, I have black putters with black sight lines. It makes no sense, but it's cool. I didn't want the sight line to overwhelm the head, so the putter's kind of a matte black. It's a gray with a black sight line. It looks mean, slick. I thought people would say, huh, I don't get it, but they get it. So it's fun to see the reaction.
Cameron Crazies, as they're affectionately known, follow their putter maker's career as though he's a rock star.
100 bags, $498. We sold out of the 100 in 2 minutes. Problem is, we oversold it by 333 bags. That's a problem.
And while their passion sometimes surprises Cameron, he says they provide valuable input.
You know, I enjoy meeting these guys. They're crazy. They're absolutely nuts, and I love it. In Canada, everybody's lefty. So they've kind of forced me to do more left-handed stuff. So I have 2 more left-handed putters in the line this year.
Cameron doesn't just have clubs to offer his loyal Canadian fans, he is nearly as passionate about creative head covers he fashions for his putters. With thousands of different designs to choose from, Cameron clearly isn't afraid to let his imagination wander.
Whatever interests me, you know, like a hula girl and hula head covers, and Tour Rat came from cars, hot rods, which are, they call them rat rods. I'm working on a new ball mark. Handmade ball marks. Painter's palette. So I like the feel. It feels like a bean. So I'm a golfer. I'm a crazy nut golfer. So whether it's a grip or a ball mark or a pivot tool or a head cover, I'm a crazy golfer. So sometimes I wonder if, like I said, if guys are going to get it, and these guys get it. So if I love it, I think they're going to love it.
Well, throughout the course of the show, we've shown you all sorts of new golf equipment. There's all sorts of new great training aids down here at the PGA Merchandise Show. But you know what? You can't buy a swing. No, you need to practice and you need to take lessons. And that's why every week here on ScoreGolf TV, we provide you with a little instructional help. Here's this week's lesson.
Swing School, lessons to help you play better golf. Brought to you by ScoreGolf Tee Times. Go online, book your tee times with ScoreGolf today.
Here again with another tip for your weekend golf, and today Colin Emery, head professional at Weston Golf and Country Club. We're going to talk about some options when you're around the green. Now, I think the natural inclination is when you get just off the green like we are in this situation, you bring out your lob wedge and you try to just loft a perfect one like Phil Mickelson does right over to the cup. But that's probably not the best option for us who are mere mortals, is it?
Yeah, I play a lot of golf with our members here at Weston, and the first thing that they do when they've missed a green or they're faced with a situation like this is grab an iron, grab a lob wedge, grab a pitching wedge, and it might not necessarily always be the right option. I think scoring and playing good golf is a lot about making good decisions and minimizing error, and I think a situation like this, unless you're highly skilled, you want to get the golf ball on the ground and reacting like a putt as fast as you can. This golf ball is about a foot off the green. I've actually selected my hybrid club, a little 19-degree hybrid club, and I'm going to try and putt the ball onto the green from here instead of trying to take out a lob wedge and do something fancy.
So this is kind of all about really kind of making it a little easier, as you say, getting it on the ground running. It's always easier to putt the ball than it is to try and loft the ball. So this is an option that people should consider when they're in a situation like this.
No question. My worst shot with this club is going to be a lot better than my worst shot with a lob wedge or a pitching wedge.
Okay, I can speak to from experience with that one. So let's figure out how we play this now.
Well, first and foremost, this is a lot longer than a lob wedge, so I'm going to choke down a little bit on this.
So you're right down to the end of the grip there.
Right down to the graphite. I'm going to stand a little closer to the ball. I'm going to try to stand the shaft up a little bit. I'm almost going to treat this like a putt bob. I'm going to move some weight up onto my left foot. A nice firm wristed stroke, and what I'm going to really try to do is catch the ball on the downswing. It's going to hop off the ground with a little bit of overspin, get on the ground early and start rolling exactly like a putt, so it's very easy to control the pace.
Okay, so, and obviously you got to line this up like a putt then, obviously, before you hit it, right?
Exactly right.
Okay, let's see you go.
Okay, choke down, a little bit more weight on my left.
Oh, that's looking pretty good. Wow, right into gimme range. That's a great method to use. Try that this weekend when you're out playing golf, and you might find you save yourself a few shots. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the dreamers who come to Orlando to showcase their product in hopes of it becoming the next big thing in the golf world. Well, the first time I came down to the PGA Merchandise Show some 20 years ago, I visited a man in a booth just 10 feet long or so. He was selling hickory shafted wedges. That guy's name was Ely Calloway, and of course he turned those hickory shafted wedges into a multi-million-dollar golf powerhouse. That's kind of the story for what you see behind me. This is the new product section here at the PGA Merchandise Show, where hopers and dreamers are trying to turn their ideas into the next big thing in golf. We sent our Jason Logan out to look at a few.
There are thousands of different products here at the PGA Merchandise Show. Some of them you're very familiar with, some vaguely familiar with, and some, quite honestly, you've never heard of them and you probably won't ever hear of them. But that doesn't mean they're not very inventive, very creative, very original, and it doesn't mean that the people who came up with these ideas aren't extremely energetic and extremely passionate about their labors of love. And I had a chance to go around and meet some of those entrepreneurs here at the show.
I started with salesman extraordinaire Peter Alexander Roberts II, that's P-A-R II, or Par 2 if you will, who stumbled upon a wild idea for golf bags that he hopes will keep more kids playing the game.
I'm a young man, but I've been caddying for over 23 years. So as a caddy, I was bringing up the golf bags. I was bringing them up to the green. I'm going to go help my guys at the green like I usually do. When I set a couple bags down, which now all golf bags have stand legs, one of the golf bags fell over on its side and just looked like a dog laying on the ground. I said, man, that looks like a dog. I'm going to have to run with this. Everybody was going with the head covers of cats and dogs and monkeys and bears. And I said, why can't I make the whole golf bag come to life and look like that animal? Now, trying to convince my wife to, instead of getting a house, start a business and invent a product like this that is so out there. She wasn't on board at first, but then when she started seeing the sales come in, I think she's okay with it now.
His wife did more than that. She connected Roberts with a friend who became the company's seamstress. Since then, not only has the zoo continued to grow, but the business too, fueled by its founder's pride and passion.
I put every ounce into it, even when I'm still on the golf course, because they always say, don't quit your day job. When I'm in that golf course, I'm always thinking about the ideas, and I'm thinking, you know what, how am I going to get this golfer to buy one of these? It's a non-stop issue. It is every minute, every day, and I'm always coming up with new characters and new fun things. We came out with book bags and shoe bags and gym bags and backpacks. I want to make everything soft and fuzzy and mini-zoo-licious.
Did I say a wild idea? More like a wildlife idea. The kid-friendly designs are machine washable and leave total access to all of your golf bag's pockets. Though the furry creatures look better under the sun, golf doesn't always present that luxury. That's why Jack Forenz's innovative golf umbrella, the Dry Club umbrella, caught my eye. A former PGA Tour and Champions Tour player, Forenz modified a standard umbrella into one with 2 sleeves to protect clubs from the rain. Perfect for those dreaded cart paths only days when you're unsure if you need your 6 or 7 iron or both your wedge and putter and Mother Nature isn't being kind.
The Dry Club umbrella was invented. I was driving down the road and I just got through playing golf in the rain, and we have to come up with something better. The best thing about this is you never get wet getting the club in and out of your cart or your pool cart or whatever you have. You stay dry by lifting the clubs out of your bag into the sleeves, which you never get wet as far as moving your umbrella to the side or moving the clubs to the side to get the clubs out of the bag, see?
When it isn't raining, you might want to give Matt Marshall's birdie golf game a try. You and your pals chip a golf ball attached to a badminton shuttlecock into a net with circles to score points. It's a lot like horseshoes or lawn darts, and certainly safer than both. The game takes little time to set up and is ideal for tailgating or just kicking around in the backyard.
You can play on concrete, you can turn them upside down, tee them up just like that, or you can play on the beach. Beach is a lot of fun. You can get rid of the nets, play around anywhere you want.
Marshall and his partner spent a lot of time perfecting the product, and when they were finally happy, mass production of the unique birdie took precedent. Above all, the net they conceived for the game is very impressive.
Well, we've been working on our net system for about 1.5 years, so a lot of development in the golf ball itself. We've changed it up about 3-4 times. The net system's great, opens up in 3 seconds, and it's real easy.
So easy that I challenged Matt to a quick game before I left. It was back and forth early before this nail-biter crowned a victor.
So Matt, we're down to the last shot here, and after my ringer, I guess you would call it, right in the center, you need 1 to beat me. So
1 point in the center.
Good luck. No pressure.
No pressure.
Close. Good match. Good match.
While you can play that game anywhere, when teeing it up at the golf course, maybe this next product will pique your interest. It's a slick concept concocted by San Diego's Adam Carroll, who is hoping to change the mostly black and white nature of golf clubs.
One night I was swinging my golf club in the house and practiced on the swing, and my computer screen was still up, and I saw an advertisement for a computer skin. And when I looked back down at my club head, I saw the same black club head that everybody else has. And I figured, why not be able to make that club head a representation of your personality and add a little style to your game.
The USGA conforming product weighs just 1 gram, so for your 200-gram driver, it'll go unnoticed. Named one of the top 3 best new products at the show in 2011, Big Wig's skins are made from the same material as decals on cars, cell phones, and computers. The vinyl is non-permanent and protects your club head from scratches and glare, all while providing your own unique touch.
We have a custom uploader on our website, and with that you can upload a picture and it'll go generate onto the club, and then what you do is submit that in and we will make a skin that represents that picture and send it to you, and then you apply it on and it will be a picture of your daughter, a picture of your family, or even your business logo. It's a great marketing tool.
Unless you're Bubba Watson and your driver is pink, Skins is in. But outside, for my last stop, I went to check out a putting contraption called Center Cup, drawn up by English golf pro Ian Melville. You might feel like you're being sent to the gallows, but Melville claims his brainstorm fixes 3 key errors in the putting stroke.
After giving an awful lot of golf lessons, I realised that there was a niche in the market to stop possibly 3 of the most common occurring errors within the putting stroke. Center Cup, as you can see behind, basically eliminates any independent hand action. It eliminates the forearm rotation, and it guarantees that the shoulders rock on a consistent plane, which is required when you want to create a perfect putting stroke.
18 months in the making, the product has been endorsed by 2009 European Team Solheim Cup captain Alison Nicholas and is geared towards golfers of all abilities, be it your single-digit pal or trunk-slamming father-in-law. I decided to take a stab at the machine to test out its merits. It was tough to get used to, but after a shaky start, I started to get the hang of it and grooved a good move. Center Cup is used by many teaching pros in Europe, and if you've got room in your budget, about $1,000 worth, and your basement for that matter, you can have your very own. But you might want to check with your better half first.
When we come back, we'll talk to 2 of Nike's top golf engineers and take a look at some of the innovative products the Swoosh company has released for 2012. Well, when it comes to the sporting good business, certainly Nike has been around for quite some time. However, when it comes to golf, they're a relative newcomer to the game. However, they have a couple of industry veterans who are helping them make their golf gear go. Club designer Tom Stites and ball designer Rock Ishii. We spoke to both of them down in Orlando. We first introduced you to Rock Ishii last season when SCOREGolf toured the Nike World Headquarters in Portland, Oregon. Ishii is the man behind Nike's 20XI golf ball, a golf ball that uses resin and urethane materials in a 3-step production process.
Innovation is all about Nike and for us, resin technology. This is the 2 material we use, and we just put them into a resin, injection machine. This is a rubber. Below this line is rubber. So many materials. Ingredient, curing agent, fillers, and go. At least like 4 or 5 processes. Instead, resin, just 1 process gives us consistency, and of course performance. It's lightweight and further. We can do 100% recycle this material. So 1 core and 1 cover process. And we have a grinding process and painting process, and of course a stamping process after this. But basically, well, 1 process, a 2nd process, and a finishing process. 3 steps.
Meanwhile, Nike's production guru Tom Stites talks all about the new putters for 2012.
We've been very, very successful with our method core technology and being able to improve the skid roll effect on and everybody's putts that way. We know that if we can move the material as far back away from the face as possible and put it on the perimeters, the club becomes very stable when hit off center. And so the method drone is a radical shape geometry with those kinds of attributes where we've actually heel and toe loaded, tungsten material into the heel and the toe, which allows that club to be very, very stable at impact. It was pretty aggressively designed too, so we've been very pleased with the way people have been accepting this.
Think that's cool? Take a look at the new concept putter on store shelves now.
So we got a very lightweight aluminum face and an extremely heavy back weight that's made out of stainless steel. And in doing so, we basically came up with a very asymmetric, very radical design, which allowed us to be able to improve the moment of inertia in the smaller profile. And like I said, it's a very aggressive look. It's kind of like all things that Nike's pretty well known for in terms of aggressive design, and we've been able to take that approach and put it into a very functional, very playable mallet style game improvement putter.
Let's hear from Suzanne Pedersen. The LPGA Tour star is a Nike pro, and she's been enamored with the product since the day she signed on with the company, whose swoosh logo has become synonymous with the brand name.
You know what, I'm a very proud member of the Nike family. I think for any athlete to be a part of the Nike team is a dream come true, any sport. And I work with fantastic people. We have great products, and it's just an amazing experience to be a part of a team where you can kind of take part of the development of developing products, shoes, apparel. You have it all, and the top-to-toe image with Nike is very clean, and like I said, I'm a very honored ambassador.
Hey, while we're at it, what are the chances Pedersen plays in both Canadian LPGA Tour events this year?
Canada is a fantastic sports country. I mean, we get probably one of the best crowds throughout the season in Canada. We rotate, we go different places every year, so you kind of get to see the country. For me, Canada is a fantastic place. I have great memories, and I'm always looking forward to coming back and playing there.
Nike Golf in 2012 is all about performance. That not only holds true for clubs such as the VRS line and balls with the 20XI, but also in clothing. Performance in clothing? Well, it might sound odd, but in Nike's Tiger Woods collection, for example, it offers a lighter weight and more forgiving fabrics to allow players to move quicker, meaning the potential for more clubhead speed. Oh, and it also happens to look great.
In our tour performance offering, we have utilized ultra lightweight fabrics. We've utilized a lot of stretch in our fabrics, and overall we've reduced the weight out of Tiger's uniform by 20%. So lighter, faster, stronger, great stretch, great mobility throughout. We find that the consumer that's going to be interested in the sport product is looking for performance, but that's an expectation on behalf of the Nike brand. So they know that it's going to perform. But first and foremost, it's about style. They're looking for something that's going to give them their own unique style, their individuality, but enable them to feel their best.
Even if your game isn't on par with Tiger's, you can still benefit from the great technology offered, including no-sew seams to eliminate the rough stitching, laser perforation to remove weight from the shirt, and dry fit to wick away sweat and keep you cool. While Nike Golf has a full line of clothing and equipment for every golfer, the company has its roots in shoes. So when it brings out a new shoe line for golfers, there's always a reason to take notice. For 2012, Nike Golf has updated and improved its Lunar Ascend shoe line to provide more comfort and stability. That's the case, as Nike Global Footwear Director Lee Walker explains.
So upper hyperfused construction, it's an engineered composite consisting of 3 layers. There's the base layer for stability, which is a one-piece synthetic. There's the breathable mesh for ventilation. And then the top layer is a TPU skin, which fuses it all together for an extra layer of durability. Cushioning system underneath is the Lunar Lawn, full-length Lunar Lawn. And then the outsole is the integrated traction, which is a whole new design with different geometries for traction where you need it, and excellent foot strike from heel to toe, and great low-profile stability and ground feel.
Nike will also be releasing its Dunk line based on a highly successful basketball shoe of years gone by. Already, Anthony Kim and Paul Casey have committed to wearing it on tour. Obviously, Tiger Woods is the focal point for Nike Golf, and this year Nike has teamed up with an American retailer for a contest that will give those fans a chance to play with the living legend. Here's the promotional spot that shows a fun and relaxed side to Tiger that we haven't seen in some time.
Marla! Found it! Found it! Here you are! Pull right! Hey, nice out. Is that 8? 6. You really gotta hold that one. You can totally play that.
Ooh. There's always the next one.
Nike Golf 2012 appears to be a great year for one of golf's best brands. Who knows, it may be just what you need to shave a few more strokes from your game. When we come back, we'll showcase some of Echo's finest shoes and touch on the sensitive topic of belly putters. Well, ever since some of the top young guns in the game switched to longer putters, they become, well, more acceptable to the average guy out there to use. Belly putters, long putters, they've won major championships now, and everyone seems to be talking about whether they should have one. We talked to some of the experts around the PGA show, and gave us their opinion on whether you should switch this season. It used to be a tool for those who had lost their way on the greens, but these days the belly putter's gone mainstream, being used by young players and old to win tournaments, including major championships. Along with their success has come a closer look from the rules makers of the game, who are considering banning an anchored putter. But according to top players, instructors, and manufacturers, that would be a great disservice to a game that's already hard enough to play.
A lot of amateurs come to my schools, and I test every school person 4 ways. I use their conventional way they come to the school putting, whatever that is, left hand low, lead hand low. Then I test long putter shafts and belly putter shafts. Belly putter wins every test. Every school, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, it's probably over 1,000 now that I've tested, measured, they putt better.
I'm a big believer in anchoring the butt of the club, whether it's a long or a mid. It's a great way to putt. It can slow down the butt of the club instead of wandering back and forth. If you need it, it's great, and if you don't, it's not a big deal.
My advice is, I don't care if you buy a putter and convert to a belly putter. Test it. Test it against the way you're putting now, and if you putt better, then consider switching. Talk to your pro, get a lesson, because once you find that, hey, in general with belly putter, I putt better, then with a lesson, you could really putt well, and that changes the whole game. I mean, that is good for the game as I see it.
Sales of belly putters are expected to skyrocket this year, and to help find the perfect length, Cameron's devised an adjustable length shaft that can be used as a fitting tool.
We're the #1 long putter on the PGA Tour. We've done our homework, and we're still learning. So I've debuted a long putter called the Big Sur and the Golo, and they're here, and they've had a great response, especially because we have one that's adjustable that you could go 3 inches longer, 3 inches shorter, and lock it into play. We call it a fitting tool, and it is a slick deal. Most people don't like the long putter because it's awkward, but if you can adjust it to what feels good and anchor that, this new tool is only going to help things get easier on fitting long putters.
But if there's one thing that's created the surge in belly putter sales, it might be that they've been legitimized by young stars on the PGA Tour.
I feel like, week in and week out, my peaks and valleys are a little bit closer together. I was a pretty good putter with the short putter. I was streaky. I feel, with the long putter that I'm just a little bit more consistent, and it works for me. I've had good results with it, and I enjoy using it. But we'll see what happens.
Advantages for me is I really feel in the setup. When you have the belly putter and you're placing it in your stomach in the same spot every time, you're in the same starting point. Your hands aren't moving up and down, backwards and forwards. You're in the same spot every time. And so when you're practicing with that, you just really feel confident with it because you're starting from the same spot every time. I'd say there's a good majority of the guys at least have had one made and they're messing with one that's properly fit for them.
Any way you look at it, belly putters seem here to stay. You might just find that the long stick will help your game, and like Dave Pelt said, you'll never know until you try it out. The golf footwear landscape has changed dramatically over the past few years, and no shoe manufacturer has contributed more to that movement perhaps than Echo. After unveiling the innovative golf street shoe in 2010, Echo followed that up with the Biome shoe last year. Now for 2012, they've come out with the best of both worlds with the Biome Hybrid.
The biggest thing that we have with Biome Hybrid, not only is the story, but the leather itself. We use what's called a yak leather. Yak leather is cool in the sense that it's the softest leather, it's the most breathable leather, and it's the strongest leather in golf footwear. So it's a little bit different than some of our cow hides and camel hides and different types of hides that we use.
The shoe's Biome design matches every curve in your foot, changing shape on each step in order to reduce impact from your natural motion. With the thousands of steps taken over 18 holes, your feet will welcome the relief. But how can a shoe do this?
The biggest thing we do is called direct injection. So when you think of a shoe being two pieces, you have your outsole and you have your upper. So somehow you have to connect those. Traditionally it's glue, it's cement, it's stitching. We actually inject the shoe, the midsole of the shoe, so it chemically fuses to the outsole, chemically fuses to the upper, so it's one piece. So you get complete waterproof seal, you get better flexibility.
And while a number of PGA Tour players are sporting the cool kicks, Echo couldn't have partnered with anyone better than the easygoing and popular Freddie Couples.
It was the perfect storm for us. I mean, Freddie Couples, you can't have a better ambassador for this type of shoe to the Echo brand. In a sense, for a while there, he became bigger than the brand. A lot of consumers were asking, where's the Freddie Couples shoe? Where's the shoe that Freddie wears, the Freddie shoe? And we said, by the way, it is an Echo shoe. So it was very good for the brand, and we couldn't have a more perfect suited guy to represent that.
When we come back, we'll wrap up the equipment show from Orlando, Florida.
Travel Getaways, looking at Canada's best golf destinations.
Whistler is perhaps best known for hosting the 2010 Winter Olympics, but during the summer, the beautiful village and surrounding accommodations become one of Canada's coolest and best vacation destinations around. But today we want to talk to you about golf, because golf in Whistler is truly an unbelievable experience for anybody traveling with a golf bag. 3 things make a great golf course: scenery, challenge, and fun. And my course at Whistler has them all. Those are the words spoken from the mouth of Arnold Palmer during the Whistler Golf Club grand opening. And the King has certainly stood true to his word. Palmer's philosophy is to design courses that are fun to play while maintaining complete respect for nature. And that is exactly what you get when you play your round of golf at Whistler Golf Club. Reaching nearly 7,000 yards, this par 71 course features 9 lakes, white sand bunkers, and great greens. And in 2012, those greens will be receiving an upgrade that will make them as pure as carpet for an even more enjoyable day. The range features 5 target greens and a location for both putting and chipping. It's a great place to work on your short game. Arnold Palmer built himself a King's Playground, a playground that is a gift to golfers across Canada and the world. Carved out of the slopes of the Coast Mountain Range in British Columbia, Chateau Whistler Golf Club, with elevation changes of more than 400 feet overall, is a magnificent course that's generous to the eye and provides enough fun and challenge for players of all levels. Designed by Robert Trent Jones Jr. and opened in 1993, this par 72 18-hole layout offers golfers a round of play full of generous-sized fairways and opportunities for long drives. Trent Jones designed the course by allowing nature to dictate its layout, as the fairways and greens traverse creeks, ponds, stands of ancient Douglas fir, and granite rock faces. This magnificent course follows the natural state of the rugged terrain throughout the Whistler region. As you walk this course, it's easy to see why SCOREGolf has recognized it as one of Canada's top 100 golf courses and one of Canada's premier public places. While golf may be the reason you're visiting Whistler, there are still plenty of other activities to do once you've wrapped up 18 holes. Take the peak-to-peak gondola that travels over 4 kilometers between the top of Blackcomb Mountain and Whistler Mountain. It's the world's highest lift of its kind and completes the world's longest continuous unsupported span of over 3 kilometers. Perhaps the best part of this epic trail is having a barbecue lunch at the mountaintop patio while overlooking the entire Whistler area. Your peak-to-peak experience is sure to be out of this world. Away from the golf course, you and your family can hit the Whistler Mountain Bike Park. These trails feature a wide variety of tastes and abilities from novice to expert. Guides are there to help you all the way down the hill. Explore over 1,500 meters of lift service descended mountain bike trails. The best part may be that you don't have to really pedal. Whether you want to ride gentle bank cruisers through the coastal forest or tight and twisty single tracks, there are trails for all types of riders. The Whistler Mountain Bike Park showcases all elements of perfection. Just 25 miles north of Whistler lies Big Sky Golf and Country Club. Constructed at the base of the massive, jaw-dropping Mount Currie in the Pemberton Valley, Big Sky features a beautiful, picturesque setting for those who love either golf or nature. The course was designed by famed architect Bob Cupp. Big Sky features the finest in golf course conditioning with bent grass from tee to green. The course is a classic links design, built on a gentle rolling terrain that integrates 7 lakes connected by a serpentine creek. Big Sky's signature hole is number 14. This par 4 stares down Mount Currie in the distance. A long drive from the tee has to avoid water to the left and multiple bunkers throughout in order to score well. Located around the corner from the Whistler Resort Village, Nicholas North stands out as one of the great courses in North America. Located at the shores of Green Lakes and surrounded by the coastal mountains of BC, this course lies in the valley floor in plain view of Whistler Mountain. With Nicholas's blend of blue and bentgrass fairways and bentgrass greens, Nicholas North's 5 sets of tees will present unique challenges to all caliber of golfers. Ultimately, Whistler offers 4 world-class courses right here in our own backyard. Whether you live in Nova Scotia or Alberta, find your way to the valley to play at least one of these courses and you will walk away with golf memories like no others. While there's plenty of amazing golf in this region, you'll also find plenty of other activities such as hiking, glacier skiing, bear viewing, and more. Yes, I said bear viewing. Whistler is perfect for your next golf vacation.
Week Speaks is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the Pro 1M and Tour Z6 rangefinders.
You know, a question I get asked a lot is, what's the best club for me? What driver should I be playing with? What's the hottest new iron that's going to help my game? Well, if the truth be known, nobody makes bad equipment anymore. All the major manufacturers really have developed technology that helps you play better golf. It doesn't matter if it's a driver, a wedge, a putter, or an iron. You can find great equipment wherever you look. The real question is, what suits your game? What do you like the look of? What feels good in your hands? And that's where the onus switches to you. These manufacturers have great equipment, they have great claims, and they have great technology. You got to find what's right for you, and that means testing things out before you put your money down on the counter to buy a new set of clubs. It's a big investment, so take your time, get fit, and find the club that you like and will help you play better golf. Well, that's it for our 2012 equipment special here from Orlando, Florida. I hope you saw something that caught your eye and might fit in your bag this golf season. Now, don't forget to check out Score Golf magazine. Our equipment issue will be available soon. Look for it at golf facilities right across this country. Check that out, and check us out online at scoregolf.com. And we'll see you next time right here on Score Golf TV.
Thanks for watching Score Golf on TSN, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is powered by Volkswagen. From one good drive to another. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, Feed Your Wild Side, and Kelowna Tourism. 19 golf courses from easygoing to ego-shattering.
Clothing provided by Cal